Super Bowl 53 is in the books. Was it the most boring Super Bowl we've ever seen? Was it an exciting defensive matchup? We discussed that. And if Super Bowl MVP Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer. We also break down that Dallas-New York trade earlier on last week and some drama coming out of Wrigley Field. All that and much more on this episode of Sports from the Couch on the Mercado Airways Network. I'm Mike Mercado. What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
To award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airwaves crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at MMercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early bmunch it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
Super Bowl 53 is in the books, and we have ourselves a new champion in the New England Patriots as they beat the LA Rams 13-3. Julian Edelman is your Super Bowl 53 MVP. So before we get into stats and all that stuff that you've already heard over the last, 48 hours, 36 hours since the end of Super Bowl 53. But let's start off with emotionally how everybody's feeling after the game. I got into a little bit of a heated conversation with young good brother Marcos, who he thought the game was entertaining. And, it's one of those things where beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And during that game, yes, it felt like at any given moment there was going to be a big play, the play of the game that you didn't want to miss. So to give credit to this game and to the Rams and the Patriots for the entertainment value, yes, there was no moment that I wanted to turn away from this game, because I did feel like anytime the Rams made one big play, that could have been the turning point. Or for the Patriots, if, for example, that interception that Tom Brady threw in their first drive heading down to the end zone, which your boy won a couple bucks from the old man, but that is a perfect scenario and a perfect case where we thought this game was going to be. Lots of moments, lots of big-time heroic plays by certain players, and we got that, but a lot of it was just, it's the old adage I say here, and I say it to death, but the death by paper clips. You saw the Burkhead big runs. You saw the dump outs to James White and Sony Michel. Gronk saved Tom Brady at the end of that game with that huge catch. Obviously, Julian Edelman, nobody could cover him throughout that whole game. Look, I could see why people enjoyed it, but to me, it was a boring game. And I think it's because of the expectations of what you had for both these teams. And I even said it leading into the Super Bowl, during the Super Bowl week over on Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves. The Rams haven't showed out the last few weeks. They've actually been struggling on offense. And it's the one thing, the biggest factor I talked about all week was Todd Gurley. And we saw how he wasn't a factor in this game. So it was all the stuff that you wanted to. It had all the players. It's like a great movie trailer comes out, and when you actually go to see the movie kind of sucks. And I don't even want to say sucks. It just kind of was there. It is what it is. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just there. You're not going to remember everything about this game. You'll remember certain parts about this game. You'll remember more of the championship games leading into the Super Bowl than you will the actual game itself. One of the things that you're hearing post-Super Bowl, and it's just a genius that goes into Bill Belichick, and we talked about it, the matchup between Sean McVay and Bill Belichick was Bill Belichick was going to do something to Sean McVay that he hadn't seen all season. There was going to be a plan that nobody saw coming except for Bill. And we saw it from the defense playing mostly man this season, moving to his zone. And a lot of people were saying that Jared Goff looked out of his element. And I agree, but what I think it was, Jared Goff had been programmed, especially with Sean McVay being so intertwined with each other. I mean, he's in his helmet until 15 seconds left in the clock. They were ready to attack the Patriots one way. And they just did not see this defense coming that way. And obviously Todd Gurley being hurt, or whatever the case may be, he's saying that he's not hurt. And to me, that becomes the question then. There's the finding the blemish on Sean McVay. If Todd Gurley's not hurt, then what's the problem? And why couldn't you make real big adjustments in the second half? They did move the ball down a little bit, and obviously we'll talk about the big play. I guess we could do it right now. Jared Goff missing Brandon Cooks. That for sure touchdown. That was a phenomenal defensive play, but it should never have happened. Brandon Cooks should have scored a touchdown easily. We even saw the play with Tom Brady fumbling the ball after that sack. The Patriots got the ball back, got possession still. And it's moments like that, and especially in a tight game like that, where holding on to the ball 1 second too late and not getting on loose balls is why New England won the Super Bowl. But that, you saw it, you felt it. At least I did at where I was watching the game with my family. We all saw that Brandon Cooks miss from Jared Goff just barely. And it felt like that was it. And, throughout a lot of the game, people kept mentioning how Jared Goff just looked lost. And it's true. The possession of how many punts the Rams did. There were 14 punts in this game. It's easy to see why you could say Jared Goff looked lost. There was, what was it? At one point, they only had 3 first downs heading into the third quarter. It was not a good game. At least if you're scouting Jared Goff. Now, I'm not going to be one of these guys who's going to just absolutely rag on Jared Goff. This was a big stage and against a team that, at that moment, the team to beat, right? Like, that's the team that just doesn't get phased in the big moment, and we saw it. And I don't know if this is an indication of where the Rams are, that they're just never going to get over that hump if Jared Goff is that Alcatraz that won't let you win. But I think there's bigger questions to it, too. That defense, give credit to that defense holding New England to 13 points. But all season it had its questions. And Ndamukong Suh played good, played very well. So did Fowler. I was expecting a little bit more from Aaron Donald. But you can't just be hard on Jared Goff. You also kind of have to be a little hard on Tom Brady. Tom Brady goes 21 for 35, 262, and an interception. They didn't look good. Everything was just dump, 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 dump. And if it wasn't for Gronkowski's big play, who knows what happens? I mean, we could start actually taking a look at some of these numbers. Julian Edelman, who ended up winning the MVP, 10 receptions for 141 yards. Gronkowski, 6 catches for 87 yards, one of the biggest catches of the game. Rex Burkhead had 2 catches. Cordell Patterson had 2 catches. James White had a catch. And then you look at rushing, Sony Michel they were just cramming it down the Rams. 18 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown. They were good. They even, Rex Burkhead gets 7 carries for 43 yards, breaks out a big 20-yard game towards the end of it. And then if you look at the Rams, Jared Goff, 19 for 38, 229 yards, and an interception at the end of the game. Todd Gurley only gets 10 carries for 35 yards. C.J. Anderson only gets 7 carries for 22 yards. Now, Brandon Cooks does get 8 receptions for 120, but the biggest one of the game, obviously, gets deflected. And it seemed like Jared Goff was just holding on to the ball too long. Robert Woods goes 5 for 70 yards. Josh Reynolds, 3 for 28 yards. And then C.J. Anderson, 2 for 12. C.J. Anderson, who's carried his team throughout the playoffs, was shut down. They were just schemed out of this game completely. And it's interesting to me with Edelman winning. And if you listen to some of the shows this past week, one of the things I said, there's no way a receiver is going to win the MVP if Tom Brady and the Patriots win. There's no way, because you just correlate. If a wide receiver is even in consideration for the MVP, that must have meant he scored a lot of touchdowns, or he broke up the game in many ways. The ball's got to get to him by Tom Brady, and the Super Bowl MVP is typically a quarterback award. That wasn't the case because he didn't look that good. Now, Tom Brady got rattled. They started to attack him, and you're never gonna see Tom Brady air the ball out 40 yards unless Randy Moss was on his team back in those days. And you even saw at the beginning of the season how much it hurt him with Josh Gordon trying to be that deep threat. They love killing you by paper cut, little by little by little. Those quick little slants, and by the time you know it, Sony Michel, James White, or Burkhead are already breaking down your secondary, and then you have Julian Edelman, nobody cover. But I didn't think Tom Brady looked all that good, but he was good enough, that's the difference. The moment was never too big for him. And that was a bad interception he threw, too, to open up that drive in the opening part of that game. That was not a great defensive play. I mean, obviously they have to make the play, but they didn't trick him. That was just a bad throw. And I think it's very interesting that gets a little lost, but when you win 6 Super Bowls, you can't really say much about the man. That's for sure. And I guess the biggest question we're going to have after this Super Bowl is what happened to Todd Gurley? That is the mystery of Super Bowl 53. I mean, 10 carries, and then what happened in New Orleans 2 weeks before? And just the secretiveness. Everybody's saying that he's not hurt. Then what is it? You can't expect to beat the New England Patriots if you're letting them have the ball for 33 minutes of this game. Your defense is going to be out there way too long, and eventually everybody gets got in the NFL. Even if in this type of game where it just felt like they were playing through quicksand, a play like what happened with Gronkowski was going to happen. Those big breakout plays from Sony Michel and Rex Burkhead were going to happen. And it's because Jared Goff couldn't make a first down. That offense couldn't make a first down. And every single time you saw them start making some moves, start moving the ball just a little bit, a dumb penalty would happen. You can't win the game having the ball for 26 minutes. Not in the Super Bowl and not against the Patriots. So it's going to be the question of Super Bowl 53. What happened to Todd Gurley? And what happens moving forward with these two teams? Obviously, I don't believe ever that New England should ever say that they're the underdogs. They're not. I mean, they're the New England Patriots. You don't get to say that. Pittsburgh doesn't get to say that. Green Bay doesn't get to say that. Like, even after a few bad seasons, it doesn't matter. You don't get to say those things when you're the dynasty. But they'll still be around. And I even mentioned it a few weeks. I think it was just last week I mentioned it. When you play in that division and you're always constantly getting the 1 or 2 seed because you can count on winning a division, you always set yourself up for success. And that's what a lot of teams try to copy that of New England. But it's hard for the Bears to copy New England when you're playing against organizations like the Packers or like the Vikings. So it would be very interesting to see this. And now that their defensive play caller for New England is now the head coach in Miami, it should be very interesting to see how this plays out. And I want to see how the Rams bounce back. And it's notoriously hard for the team that loses in the Super Bowl to come back. I think they might regress. San Francisco is going to get their quarterback back in Jimmy Garoppolo. Obviously, Seattle, what they're going to do in the offseason with Russell Wilson, they're always going to be in it. Arizona with the number 1 draft pick, do they get another quarterback? It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the NFC West moving forward. But that's what we have so far. That is pretty much everything in the game itself. Some records actually were broken during the Super Bowl, so we'll check those out really fast. Most games played in the Super Bowl, 9 by Tom Brady. Most passes in a career, 392 for Tom Brady. Most completions with 256 for Tom Brady. Most passing yards with 2,838 with Tom Brady. Oh, longest punt. There you go, 65 yards. Johnny Hekker for the Rams. Most games played in a Super Bowl now in New England with 11. Fewest points in a game by both teams. 16 combined with New England at 13, the Rams at 3. Fewest points for a game-winning team, 13 for New England. Fewest points through 3 quarters with both teams with 6 points. It was 3-3. Fewest touchdowns. Game only had 1. What else do we got? And here we go. To sum up Super Bowl 53, most consecutive drives ending with a punt, 8 for the LA Rams. And that pretty much sums it up, guys, for Super Bowl 53. We will have on some great minds to break it all down and move forward to the offseason. We have the draft, we have free agency, and obviously by the time we know it, pitchers and catchers will report, which means training camp and OTAs is around the corner. But there it is. Super Bowl 53 is in the books. It is now on to the offseason and the road to Super Bowl 54. Let us know your thoughts all over social media. What did you think? What was your favorite commercial, your favorite moments, favorite play? And who do you think is the really early odds-on favorite of winning Super Bowl 54? We got more on Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm Mike Mercado.
Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airways crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at MMercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/Mike Mercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mike Mercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support. The ratings for Super Bowl 53 are in, but before we get into that, I want to get into this conversation about Julian Edelman, who was Super Bowl 53 MVP, and whether or not he is a Hall of Famer. Look, I understand I'm part of this media, the social media game, the podcast game, where everything has to be so hyperbolic. Everything is to the extreme. Either it's a great movie or it's a horrible movie. Either they're a great person or a horrible person. And it's never what it really is in life, where it's not black and white. It's a little bit of gray. It's somewhere in the middle. And I think that's what's happening here with Julian Edelman. You have, obviously, the elephant in the room. He's a white wide receiver. So there's going to be a certain fondness to him from a huge majority of people. And then you have the fact that he's played for a team that's won a lot. They've seen him in big games, and he's had big moments. Can that be true? Absolutely. Can you be very clutch in big moments? Absolutely. You could still be very clutch in those moments and not be a Hall of Famer. You could still be a reason why a team wins a lot of games or wins the big game without being a Hall of Famer. Now, objectively speaking, I like Julian Edelman. One of the other elephants in this room, which is the PED suspension. But obviously, if you've listened to us here on Sports from the Couch, I know why society kind of looks another way when it comes to PEDs in NFL. It has to. These guys are killing each other. They're going into literal car crashes every single time they snap a football. And because it's our sport and it's for our entertainment, we look the other way. Opposed to like baseball, where we all kind of feel like we could play that sport much more. And just in general, like, you know how I am with fans. Like, we think we could do what they do because we've done it growing up. But when they're at their level and their speeds, it changes, right? In football, we can feel it and see it, and it's more just, it seems more tangible to see how out of this world these guys are. So we kind of look at it that way. Unlike baseball, though, and there's this purity of baseball that we have that's kind of hypocritical, but that's a conversation for a different day. And Julian Edelman had a 4-game suspension this year for PEDs. But the NFL doesn't shy away from giving him the MVP of the Super Bowl. There's no shying away of him maybe being a Hall of Famer. In baseball, you're non grata. Once you get a suspension of PEDs, you're done. And let's now, objectively speaking, his stats are, they're fine for a good player, but what do we have? 499 receptions, 5,390 yards, 30 touchdowns. Look, he's a really good player who's been a part of really good teams, and he's had really big moments. All these things can be true without him being a Hall of Famer. And you don't have to get tricked and sucked into these conversations, whether it's racially baited, team biasness, or just for a hot take. Julian Edelman can be a Super Bowl MVP, a champion, a really, really good NFL player, and not be a Hall of Famer. All those things can be true. And speaking of Hall of Fame, we actually have a poll going up right now on Facebook.com/Mercado Airwaves. Would you rather have a Hall of Fame career but no championships, or all the championships in the world, a nice career but no Hall of Fame? Cast your votes in right now. And I know a lot of you guys want to know our opinion of the halftime show with Maroon 5, but to be honest with you, I didn't watch it. I'm going to actually watch it before we do the episode of The Good Brothers, but I watched Halftime Heat on the WWE Network. Highly suggested. It was a good 15-minute match, a good little killer if you wanted to get some food or beer or use a washroom, whatever the case may be. But one thing that we did see was the ratings. The ratings have came in, and of course, it's still crushed. Over 100 million people still watch, according to CBS, although it is down about 18%. They were saying at certain points of last year's Super Bowl, the lowest ratings, actually, which is funny. You see 100 million people. It's still a lot of people, but the lowest rated Super Bowl in 10 years. 10 years ago was the Arizona Cardinals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and kind of the same scenario that you saw here. Arizona, not the biggest fan base. You had the Pittsburgh Steelers team at that point, a team that we have seen a few times win a Super Bowl. And then at this year, you see the LA Rams. First of all, LA, not the greatest of sports markets, especially when it comes to a new team. Even though the Rams have been in LA before, it's not the greatest of markets. It's a big market, but it's not the greatest of sports markets comparative to the Patriots, which obviously the Boston, New England area, but it's the evil empire. Everybody's watching. Why would a random person in Nebraska care? And then I get it. What else are you watching? But in today's day and age, there's so many things that you can watch. There it is. We'll actually break this down a little bit more, what we thought about the halftime show, what we thought about Halftime Heat, and the ratings itself on the next episode of The Good Brothers. But let us know, what did you watch during the halftime show? Did you like Maroon 5? Did you watch something else? Did you watch the Puppy Bowl? Did you watch Halftime Heat? Let us know all over social media. What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airways crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at MMercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
There was a huge blockbuster trade in the NBA in the middle of Super Bowl week. We really didn't get a chance to talk about it and bury the Chicago Bulls for not being as creative as the Dallas Mavericks, as they make a huge trade with the New York Knicks to get Kristaps Porzingis to play with Luka Doncic. And there's rumors now that Kristaps Porzingis will be signing an extension with Dallas. Dallas also gets Tim Hardaway Jr., Courtney Lee, and Trey Burke. The Knicks get Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews, and 2 future first-round picks. Look, it's not a great trade for the Knicks in the sense of what they got back, but now they have financial room for 2 max deal contracts. Hello, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. I hate James Dolan. I hate the Knicks. I think it's a bad ran organization. I love the city of New York, but I think the Knicks are a horrible ran organization. They put themselves in a position to win and get superstars. The Dallas Mavericks went all in and are going to go after Kristaps Porzingis for a long-term deal. They got Luka Doncic that they drafted. They have a core, a serious core, maybe a Euro core, but it's going to be really good in today's NBA. Let me ask you this. Can you ever see the Bulls doing anything this creative? Anything this smart? Why is Bobby Portis still on the team? Why is Jabari Parker still on the team? They just finally released Carmelo Anthony. The Chicago Bulls are the worst ran organization in the National Basketball Association. And a lot of people are going to give crap to the New York Knicks. They did over the last few days. But without a doubt, they put themselves in a position that even though, look, at Boston is in a bad position with Kyrie after all the stuff that happened with Isaiah Thomas. New York is not a well-ran organization, but they can always sell New York MSG. You're going to make a lot of money. It's just unfortunate that at this point, you're not seeing any movement with the Chicago Bulls. Although Lauri Markkanen's been playing pretty decent and they lose games they're supposed to. So maybe Zion is on his way. You can only hope, Bulls fans. And also to all you Cub fans coming up, Joe Ricketts. This story has been breaking about some racist emails that he has sent out that were leaked. We'll be keeping an eye on the story. Obviously, I'm a Cub fan. We love baseball. We'll be having Paul on soon. And breaking news, y'all, there is no breaking news. Bryce Harper and Manny Machado still have not signed, and we are ready in the second week of February. But we'll keep an eye on this Joe Ricketts story. It's a little disturbing. He paid for the Chicago Cubs when they bought him in 2009. Joe Ricketts. He's the father of the Ricketts family. But he's not part of the board. But he bought the team. It's his money. But he doesn't do day-to-day stuff. It's confusing, guys. So I don't blame you guys for being confused with it. But we'll go through the story together and we'll see what unfolds with Joe Ricketts and the Ricketts family and the Chicago Cubs. Pitchers and catchers are reporting in just a few days. And 2 of the biggest stars still haven't been signed. Are the White Sox still favorites to get Manny Machado? What's going on with San Diego, Philadelphia, and Washington? We'll keep our eyes on all of that. But that'll do it for us on this episode of Sports from the Couch. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Let us know, what did you think about Super Bowl 53? Let us know, are you excited now for the NBA now that the NFL season is over? Who is your favorite to come out of the East and the West? What did you think about that Dallas-New York trade? And do you think the Bulls are going to do anything before the trade deadline? And, of course, all you Cub fan and White Sox fans will keep an eye on the free agency and this Joe Ricketts story. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of Sports from the Couch on the Mercado Airwaves Network. Follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333, on Instagram, instagram.com/MikeMercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Get us anywhere you get your favorite podcasts at Mercado Airwaves. Visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves to get our interviews ad-free before anybody else with athletes and celebrities. And, of course, a huge shout-out to Munch Art Design for powering us here on the network. Thank you so much. Enjoy all the games. We'll see you next time on Sports from the Couch here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm Mike Mercado.
Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airways crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at MMercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Just another day at the operator to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How are
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.